Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mabimpressions, and today we're going to be talking about Inscryption. This game is a horror game, a deck builder, and a roguelite, and an escape room? Okay, if you guys are interested, all the footage you're seeing today is taken straight from my Let's Play channel, so come on by. There's a link in the description, and of course my Twitch, I live stream daily. I'm going to be talking about a summary of the game, giving you a overview of the gameplay, the presentation, the pros and cons, and my final verdict. So please stay till the end of the video where I'll be giving you my final rating on whether or not you should play Inscryption. So let's begin. It was developed by Daniel Mullins Games. One of the most famous games that they have done recently was Pony Island, which was a very surreal / horror game. And then it was published by Devolver Digital. They've been coming out with a lot of great stuff, so I'm glad to see this one coming out from them because it just makes sense. Okay, so the game came out October 19th, 2021, and it is currently going for $19.99 US. Moving on to the story, I'm going to try to not spoil anything. I'm going to give you the introduction, some of the stuff that happens at the very beginning. This is definitely one of those games that is best experienced firsthand, as there's a lot here, and I just don't want to spoil it for you. So, when the game starts, you are a survivor. You find yourself in this little tiny cabin, and there's lots of little trinkets and keys and puzzles. And there is also a beast in the corner who was shrouded in darkness. You talk to this beast, and he basically says, hey, some bad stuff's gonna happen to you unless you play my game. So he ends up giving you a deck of cards, and then he teaches you how to play this little roguelike game. And all throughout, you are trying to escape via puzzles around the room, but also trying to keep the beast happy. It sounds pretty awesome, huh? The genre of this game, it's a deck building, roguelike, horror, card battler, escape room, and I will definitely be going into how all of that kind of interweaves together. So that's the genre. The target audience. Who is this for? Well, it's a pretty cheap game, so it's kind of open to a lot. It definitely feels indie. It has a pretty robust card combat mechanics, so if you are into that kind of stuff, it fills the niche there. It's really nice. There's a ton of constant progression. You're always learning new things. You're always feeling like you are making some sort of headway, whether it be, becoming more familiar with the combat system, getting stronger, or learning more about the world around you and getting more information about what the situation you're in. And yeah, it just really appeals to the horror and the surreal and the overall big mystery. It's a really good game. Alright, so let's talk about the gameplay. You are going to be spending the majority of the time doing the roguelike card adventure. You're going to be doing escape puzzles and basically solving the overall mystery. So let's go into some specifics. I'm not going to talk about every aspect, but here's how battles work and the roguelike aspect. So let's just start with battles. I think that's the easiest thing because that's a lot of the gameplay for the most part. So you're going to be getting a deck of cards, and throughout the game you're going to be finding different types of them. The goal is to defeat your opponent, which is played by the big beast. He's kind of like your DM, where he's playing all these different characters and trying to guide you through the story. And basically, in every battle, there's a scale which acts as HP. Every time you take damage or the other person takes damage, the scale gets more weightier on their side. So if you hit the enemy 5 or 6, it goes all the way down and they lose. So it basically is a back and forth. If you hit 3 and they hit 2, it's tipped a little bit in their scale, but then it's a constant back and forth. So I like how it's not like an easy to see HP bar. You just have to look at the scale and you're like, oh man, if they hit me for 2 more, the scale's gonna hit all the way down and I'm dead. But if I hit him for 3 this turn, I can take 2 more damage this turn and stuff like that. So there's 4 lanes of cards where you can put them down. You're gonna be throwing cards down in many different ways. There's like a lot of different sacrifices, but to make it more simple, cards have an attack, they have an HP. And at the end of your turn, so you set up all your cards, there's a ton of different effects, like some are flying, some buff others, some, kill on command, etc. There's a ton of different, the game calls it insignias or inscriptions. I totally forgot. I think it might be inscriptions, so hence the name. It could be insignias. But basically, like I said, your goal is to just defeat the enemy, destroy their minions, and just get the scale down. And then after you win the battle, you get rewards. Okay, so that's the battle. And trust me, there is a lot there. It's a ton. If you like Slay the Spire, if you like just any sort of turn-based, card-based battler, this plays different, but man, it's pretty satisfying. Okay, so the rest of the roguelike mechanics is progressing the stages. Besides combat, you're going to be going down this track of events, and every time you do a run, it's going to be different. And runs do last quite long, unless you get like super beat up at the beginning. But the game's not that difficult. It really is, and at least at the beginning, you're not rushed or anything, so you should really take the time to learn the mechanics. There is an encyclopedia where you can see how all the things work, and it basically plays like a big puzzle. However, it has a lot of choices and a lot of ways to win each encounter, so that's really awesome. So throughout these encounters, like I said, you got battles, you have elite battles, you have campfires to buff your minions' attack or defense, and then you have sacrificial shrines where you can destroy a card and put them on another card to combine and make an even better one. You're going to be collecting more cards, you're going to be altering lots of different things. Like I said, it's a roguelike, so just tons and tons of events. And then at the end of the area, you're going to be fighting a boss. That's Act 1. You destroy the boss, you're going to be going to Act 2, destroying the boss, and as you're going through these acts and unlocking further and further, you're going to be talking to the beast and talking to your cards. Yes, talking to your cards. It's another weird mystery in the game where you start with the card, and then his name is, it's a stoat. It's like a stunted wolf, and then he basically says, hey, I'm gonna get you out of here. Please listen to me. So then he's a card in your deck who you're going to be using to fight, kill, sacrifice, etc. And then you will be unlocking more cards as you go along. But you're going to be listening to his advice and then, you know, trying to outwit the beasts that you're playing up against. So that's the first half of the game. The second half of the mechanics is going to be the escape room puzzle. So at any time between events, you can go onto the adventure, do a battle, and be like, okay, I'm going to stand up, and then you can walk around the room. In this room, you can look at the beast. He's very scary. You can walk around, and there's a lot of different things. There's like a clock that you can mess around with. It's at different times. There's a knob with a locker, and you can mess with the knobs. What is this? You know, there's a lot of things in there that you can interact with. Some you're able to do soon, and some, you know, it's story based. But yeah, finding out when to do certain things and, you know, getting the reward for them is very awesome. Some of the rewards help you in the actual, you know, in the combats. You unlock new cards for future play, etc. So that's the, you know, escape room mechanics. And of course, the overarching story, which is, who is this demon and what the heck am I doing? So without spoiling too much, that's the basics. Moving on to the presentation. It is a pixel-like graphics. It's like a horror ink-like. It's very indie. It looks very indie, but my god, there are so much, you know, details in the animations, just the atmosphere. Even though it's a cabin, there's like spiders crawling around everywhere. You have lightning coming out of the door. You want to see what's going on, you know. There's a lot going on here, so it's not cheaply made. This is a very, very well, good-looking game, though it has that sort of like VHS filter, PS1 graphics-esque type of deal, right? The sounds and music, oh, very atmospheric. It's quiet during the puzzle areas, perfect. You hear creaks and moans sometimes, and then during battle, it's, you know, it's very chill. And then during the final acts and boss battles, it hypes up. So the music is very fitting. It works well. Something I had a problem with, but it could just be like my own experience, where some of the levels were quite high over others. Certain sound effects were just like, oh, too loud, you know, but then like some things would be too low, so I would have to kind of put it in the middle somewhere. It could just be me, but I felt like the audio levels were a little off there. Time for the pros and cons. What did I like? What did I dislike? Starting with the best aspects, the main selling points of this game. The roguelike aspect here is done really well, to my surprise. I thought it was gonna be more of the jump in your face surreal horror stuff, which it is there, but man, the combat is really good. The progression is fun. You're always learning new things. You're always trying to upgrade your deck. And the experimentations of combining cards together is really, really fun. There's always a constant mystery, which I really like. You're basically on the edge of your seat the entire time. And the difficulty, I think, is perfect. It is very perfect. There's no difficulty levels like easy, normal, or hard. But, you know, as long as you really just sit there and think about your moves, you're going to be good. What did I dislike about the game? What would I change? At the moment, not much. I think as it is, the package is perfectly fine. The UI is a little weird, but after a while it does make sense. For example, you can play almost the whole game using just the mouse, scrolling in and out to go back to your cards, to go to the board, to go to the deck, and then you got to use WASD to move around the room. But yeah, like seeing where exactly your HP is a little weird, and sometimes you can't see the currency that you're using, so you have to click around. Other than that, it's a little annoying, but it adds to the flair of the game. I think it's completely fine. One thing I would definitely change though is a lot of the text was hard to read. I don't know if there's a settings in the graphics to change it. I left everything basically on the default graphics settings, but yeah, like reading the encyclopedia to learn all the inscriptions, some of the text was just a little hard. But once again, it could just be me, but that's minor, and I talked about the audio thing, very minor stuff. So my final verdict on the game, my final thoughts: it's a really amazing experience. Inscryption is from the creators of, like I said, Pony Island. You can expect a lot of twists and turns. The deck building is just top notch, fun roguelike. It has very good pacing, because, you know, if you ever feel like you're tired of doing the card battling stuff, just back up, just simply scroll out and walk around the room, and you can, you know, progress as you go. And to keep things moving along, you have your little friend that says, hey, don't forget to do this, you should really check this, and then, you know, he kind of badgers you on and that stuff. And he's, you know, even though he's a still image, you know, he has a little bit of animation going on, and he feels very, like, he has a personality. I really like it. My dog is barking. And yeah, and the escape room stuff is pretty fun, and it's a great price. If I remember, it's $19.99 US. It's very good. So I'm gonna have to give Inscryption a very awesome, shining recommendation of 100% yes. Get the game. It's very good, especially for its price. If it was like a $30 game, and you'd be like, well, maybe not for everyone. For $20, it's good. And I think there is a demo. I could be wrong, but check the Steam page. There is a demo if you want to check it out. But if you want to see even more, I am posting all of my Let's Play in the link in the description to my MabiVsGamesVOD channel. I'm also going to be live streaming it, so if you want, catch me on Twitch. Hey, if you guys have any questions about the game, please put it down below, and I'll try to answer it ASAP. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.